Hi, this is Shu with a review of the GT Future. For size 9.5, it weighs about 500 grams, but it feels a lot lighter than what the digits show. Definitely compared to those crazy brick-ass shoes like Adidas Hardens or AEs, they definitely on foot feels lighter than them, but material-wise, I think they're just as um, hefty. As you can tell, this is looks like a composite, but it's not exactly the same kind of material like you've seen in the traditional composite. It's definitely more substantial than the the upper material used in LeBron 23, but it's kind of a cross between LeBron 23's flimsy upper and the composite. It's definitely a little bit more rigid, but it's not crazy thick. I think that's why it doesn't feel that heavy. Still, because it's not woven or doesn't have a lot of breathability, they've got some holes here, but it doesn't really help. It's got a solid inner booty as well, so it's a pretty stuffy shoe. So nice to wear during the cold seasons. Fit wise, it's a bit of weird. It's a bit weird. Lockdown is horrible because you can only start it from way up here. Here, if this is a one-to-one great fit for you, try it. But if you feel like you need to lace something up here, nothing's gonna help you unless you poke some extra holes here, which would be difficult with these materials, and you don't want to damage these beautiful flowing materials. So I would say comfortable. You can go up half a size, but you will feel, if you go up half a size, you might feel a bit of insecure toe box area space. But if you go true to size, you might feel that this shoe kind of really tapers and narrow a little bit. So that's something you need to decide what kind of sacrifice you want to make, what kind of compromise you want to make. The material is pretty stiff. This little wing tip, it kind of scratches into you. It's nothing, but it actually is there, so it kind of can be a little bit annoying and irritating, might really wear down your sock. It's actually a low-cut shoe because the shoe starts from here. It's a low-cut shoe that just have this stupid wings. The material is, this one is a 3M Scotch reflective material, so these things, when you run, even when straight out of the box, these little edges, as they were sitting on the box, you will see that there's some wear and tear there. As you reflect the light, you can see where the scratches are, and you'll see more of those scratches the more you wear the shoe. So if you're one of those people who are sensitive about maintaining pristine exterior for your shoe, this is definitely not one for you. It's always gonna get some kind of scratch, even if you take a brisk walk in the park. Padding is nice, except for these little annoying parts. Everything is nicely padded. The outsole pattern is very rudimentary, but it's the kind of pattern that works. The kind that you've seen in those brand black shoes or some of the older Dame models and things like that. That's just very direct and straightforward, but it gets the job done. And it's not dust sensitive, so that's good. There's no outrigger. This shoe is very rounded on the medial and lateral side. So, and because it's such a stiff upper, you're gonna start spraining your ankles quite easily in this shoe with this roundedness and the lack of a thicker base, nor is there an outrigger to provide that anti-rollover blockage there. So that's not exactly great for those who have, you know, ankle injuries that happen quite often. If you roll your ankle a little bit, side to side movements, not exactly the best kind of shoe. And besides, it's not that flexible. This is the polar opposite of the Tatum 4s in terms of the uppers. I wish that shoe was not that flimsy. But it's got a nice little rounded shape on the heel, so the full-length Zoom Strobel and the extra Zoom Air on the forefoot, you can really feel them. They're comparable to the shoes with similar setups in the past, like the KD 13s and the Jordan 36. Jordan 36, I think it's a bit more lower to the ground and it's more forgiving and softer than this. But this is definitely softer and lower to the ground than the KD 13s. So it's a cross between KD 13 and Jordan 36. I think it's not too bad. If you like that in-betweener between those two models, this is definitely a good shoe for you. But again, it's not the most flexible shoe. So if you're a nimble, agile, speedy player that needs to rely on side-to-side movements, not exactly for you. The insole is interesting. They got a little perforated Nike swoosh there, and It's got a bit of a concave insole that really hugs on top of the strobo board so that it won't be rubbing or sliding all over the place. And this is an Ortholite material that seems kind of been made like a shortbread, as in it's compressed. It's a little bit more denser and heavier than your typical Ortholite insole. So it's a nice improvement from having something that's too soft that might slide all over the place, nor having something that's too starched that it kind of negates the plushness of the Zoom Air. So I think this is a nice little compromise there, but it's heavier, definitely heavier than most insoles. So what can I conclude? Despite having Zoom Air, full-length Zoom Air and the 4-foot Zoom Strobo, I would have preferred the Zoom Air to be on the heel to provide a little bit more of a heel-toe offset or a drop. It feels like the shoe is kind of like very parallel or straight. This heel, it's not as crazy, dangerously sinking, but it could have been better. So I feel like that balance could have been struck. Like in the Foamposite, traditional Foamposite, full-length Zoom and an added Zoom on the heel that you can't feel because the midsole and the upper is so stiff. This one, not as stiff as the Foamposite. Definitely softer than the Foamposite, but the setup is, wrong way up. Price point is also another factor. It's pretty expensive, as expensive as the LeBron 23s. And the 3M material, again, this is very sensitive. I can already see scratches in some parts. If I were to reflect the light in a certain way, you will definitely see a lot of scratches and imperfections on this. Even as soon as I get it off the box, these little edges, there's a different level of wear and tear in terms of the way it reflects the light. I think it's a beautiful shoe. I wish they could have done a little bit different with the cushioning setup. It doesn't feel as heavy as what the Digital show, but it's still a pretty hefty shoe. I still take the Tatum 4 over this shoe.